I didn't know she was infected. Let him through the door again. I can regret dying now. But O1AI knows the status of the previous subventure. The new tyrant on the high floor understood everything. Hold on tight. This boy must have used magic. At first, even the head of Dendon was hit. She's just a gas condenser. This guy also knows how to cut corners. End of the long form. The owner immediately turned to Don Pepper. Stand next to me, the fucking head. You are mesmerized by him, 3 flying souls. Is it because of his magic? Don Pepper red face. Speak up and explain, master. The teacher gave me the prize last time. But actually, if he could use it on me again. The bridge can't even hear this word. The owner only knows how to hold his forehead and sigh. I don't know what this guy's got. Again can make this oversized disciple of mine. So willing to volunteer. Frequency tyrant. I don't care about the antics. Long form owner. She turned her eyes a little worried. At the same time, he's standing in front. Eyes still staring at the boy under the. Can't help but speak up. The soul doesn't matter. It's just that if it is first round champion, it is that the jade is no longer valid. The king of medicine is proud to boast. Then, there's only one difference. It's because he cheated. It's the mistake of the Little League. For a long time, finally the sound of urination echoed again. Sorry. This is the mistake of our students. The order of the first round must be. Suddenly now. Most likely, he glanced at her. Voice cut across. Wait for the arbitration. Maybe the emperor is not the best product of Denmark Sao. I can't wait to open my mouth. He laughed at me first. Ha, the appetizer is counted as the following. The corners of the mouth are slightly raised, probably the most. I didn't pay attention to Kia's sarcasm. Just calmly look at the stern side. Then invite the most favored disciple of the king of medicine. The first king of medicine. Tell me seriously. What is the ultimate appetizer? Of course. But still, not complete yet. He was stunned and said no words. Your words are not wrong. The perfect appetizer is the best knitting product. So he really can't argue. I am most likely to see this scene smiling. In his eyes flashed a ray of arrogance. With a cold smile, who said no? So let me tell you. Lindon 12 products lowest is the most Don. As long as we throw the medicine into the lab. This medicinal knit, if you do not practice 7 defeats, it is the best Don. You are the first. 160 for aspirations of the Department of Bias. Most probably just finished. The noise in the yard went silent. Everyone is blinded by his words. The laughter in my eyes is gone. But seriously, at this time he said no wrong. In the definition of Lindon, it's just medicinal. If 07 fails, it is considered a medicine. The highest is 12. The lowest is the best. It's no lower. I can't stop thinking here either. According to the definition, the king is also counted as the greatest. It's just that in Batch Dawn, they won the bar. The first round is such a low-grade knitting. It's too sarcastic. If you really want to win first class, other monks will definitely not obey. Thinking for a long time, in the end Urbane can only use a conciliatory tone. Said Mr. Song. That you've been making. Watch through the door. It's just this first position. But she hasn't finished yet. Probably the most cold of all. Look at his proud face. There's a battle of disgust in my heart. He was angry and shouted at the stinky boy not to have such a thick face. You have grasped the loophole of the subject. Don't get the water in. Appetizer Kier. Whether it is the best knitting, it's also the worst of the best. Not even the lower level. Probably most people don't pay attention. Certainly not giving in. Resolute attitude says. Poor grade is not the best Danish sow. The judge made it clear. The best preparation of knitting drugs for speed. You are all stupid. I don't know the rules myself. You have to train to be superior. Who is to blame for losing? Give me the first place. I have no door. The word just ended. And at the same time, everyone understands that there's a gap in this. Never stop complaining. Fuck it. Why didn't we find a flaw in the rules? Let this boy take first. If you're not just training a complete appetizer, then we're faster. He's sure the point is there's no way to refute. Real news. I can feel every wave of evil coming. He made a look of resentment, a nose bone pretending to feel it. The proverbial right to speak. Not being envied by others is mediocre. Looks like I'm too good. Hear this word. Everyone in their anger trembled. But nothing can be done. He can only look at Yang Yang proudly. Kindness is no exception. He laughed and looked at the words of the Lord. I have met a lot of unscrupulous people. It's as bad as you. I saw it for the first time. Most likely the world is still calmly pouting. What is wrong with me? This is a bad mood. You didn't survey the mood earlier. I am absolutely the best person in the world. They deserve the first place. Hear this word. I really admire the person in front of me. It's a genius. There are also people who are not willing to talk. This boy has no talent. Just by taking a shortcut to get to the top. The next round will be eliminated. That's what most people here don't think. This person is not simple. If you look at one, you can know the real story. It's not a speed survey. It's a personality survey. In a moment, and the practice of knitting medicine is suitable for the subject. Unexpected talent in the Celestial Empire. Outside of the royal court. There's also a talent for knitting. It's so revealing. Think about here. In the deepest part of the world, there's no escape. Who is this? Don't say top 3. Even the top 5 couldn't get in. Absolutely not paying attention to the expressions of those around. He looked at everyone in disbelief. Okay, even though we didn't volunteer. But can't help but declare. Master Song is the first round knitting champion. In the blink of an eye she finished. Everyone in the yard is out of order. Most likely, I don't even notice. A group of people with no money. It's stupid. I can hear you get angry immediately. But very quickly calm down. Looking towards the worst. This time I will give you comfort. The next round will get you out of here. Hear this word. He didn't even notice the laughter. Turn around and walk away. In automatic blinking, confidently speaking. You have that talent. Look closely. You are the king of medicine. And I am the best. Take a good look at these 4 words. Laughing coldly. You think you're wearing the dead man's jacket. He can bless you. Haha, the inclination? Even though there's a genius in knitting. But you can't get past the old man forever. Say these words. Can only prove. He's just a kid with an unclean nose. He deserved to die on the old man's side. Peach, you've been standing outside their conversation. I heard him talk about the past. I can't help but ask seriously. Kier is really old, Sao. Smiling out loud, 2 hours of strange talk. If it's true, why are you practicing? Can you turn it into this form? The boy does not know how to measure himself. The old man's dream of stealing Danfang. The result is self-harm. The other one died a ticket holder. The man who killed him was worth it. In the end, she couldn't stay calm. Body swaying to PCs. Full of angry fire. What the old man studied for 3 years. Ra is all fake. This word from to people. The people above heard a single word. Tend to bite your teeth in your eyes. If not the current situation. The 2 old masters next to him stopped him. She definitely wants to go to the bottom. Strictly endlessly uniform. 9 stood next to her looking at her. In the eyes appeared reluctantly. He sighed and shook his head. The enemy does not stop cursing you. My wrongful death. I will not be able to stand. But right now. Most likely, he said something that surprised everyone. But now. I brought his shirt. The man in front of you is not Sao. The words just came out and I felt humiliated. 2 grips tightly to the right. Eyes rose with anger. Angry face. Staring at the body of the most evil. This man wants to fight him. This minor strain. I want to represent the world. Overcame him to become the strongest monk. Italian naked. This fight really pissed him off. That's why people tend to hear this word. In my heart through a warm stream of water. I was so excited with 2 eyes saying thank you. At this moment she finally understood. This act of the worst kind. Then Ra, why? I want to replace her to fulfill the will of the Department of Bias. Even if you are a member of a 3rd-class family. Maybe it's because she sacrificed so much. She didn't send the wrong person. It is worth it. She has nothing to regret. Hong Fu Than Van on the high floor, indifferent. Look at the war below. Happy to laugh now. Haha, someone dared to fight openly. With the king of medicine alone. Probably for the first time in his life. Encounter it. It's not easy to be irritated. The 5 elders of Yumin Cup also nodded when they heard it. Said the caption, laughing coldly. The devil has never seen anything before. I saw him today with an unknown boy. The sky is high, and humiliation the earth is wide. Like that. It seems like a big heart. Hong Fu Than Van happily nodded. In her eyes sparkled with laughter. He is very dignified. See, this kid doesn't need us to do this. If he wins, he will surely kill him. Death is standing next to you. With my head bowed and my back laughed. The 2 men said yes. After round 2, This boy is finished. He seriously provoked him first. No matter what he did, he kept dancing. There's no reason to blame him and the two men. Then you become a lady. Nature will no longer be angry with you. Just finished his sentence and glanced at him, happily nodding. The tiger is an old man who knows how to stretch. They know how to please others. At the same time on the bridge, before the blatant provocation of the most mortal, I was so angry to shake. You calm down. Like the look on his face is still scary. He is close to the voice. You want to represent Goddess people. The old man, right? Perhaps the most contemptuous laugh was the old man's. You are wrong. I will fight you. The surest words on the knitting platform. The noise makes everyone who trembled, then arrogantly declared, "Take a good look. I am the one in the first place. You have to dance." Except 165 3 medicinal knitting products. Strict anger has not subsided. I was blown up by this word of the worst. He's 1,000 times. I can't believe this guy can be so arrogant. With just a little bit of his energy and intelligence. I also want to fight with him. In the interim, he was so angry that he flipped. Endlessly cruel talk. Rotten boy. I can't believe you're crazier than that guy. But the arrogant man's disciple. It doesn't end well. Most likely, he was angry and smiling. He looked at him coldly and said, "Good bad ending. It has nothing to do with hubris or not. Arrogance is only about power. If you could beat me down today, you are the first heaven." The old man was. Then one more condition. If you can get me this head of Lao Tzu. 2 hands up. What I just said caused a panic. It's just a knitting competition. This kid is playing so loud. But he's too extravagant. The why war. He is the first monk of heaven. Just with this little power. I also want to confront the Kier. Really find your own way to die. The tendency to. They're the same as everyone here. Terrified to the core. But the people of Hong Fu Than Van smile again to contentment. The 5 elders of Yu Min Cup with a sneering smile said, "Now I want his life." The more the name itself is. 9 of them looked at each other. There's a little urgency in my eyes. Long 9 is not expected. This time his brother was so big. He knows that he works carefully. Make sure the win. But this time, I'm serious about training. Your chances are not great. We can hope to this extent. He looked at the wild boy in front of him, revealing a deceitful smile. "Oh boy, you said it yourself. Don't be afraid to bow down and pray for your life." Everyone down there is watching the play. They don't stop being terrified, then despise ridicule. This boy wants to be the first monk in heaven. This position alone, the king of medicine, is temporary. Where is the name of the boy with the smell of milk based on you? This is clear. It's a war with the whole celestial dance practice. Strictly as if holding the victory in your hands. Gee, you said it yourself. Don't be afraid to kneel until then. The woman next door heard this. Not out of fear, You know he has a relationship with the city. She doesn't want him to think either. Then she advised the boy. Don't be arrogant anymore. Seriously, this elder is a senior. You are wrong with him. Take back the crazy words you said. He probably won't calculate with you. But the most basic of all is not hearing. On the contrary, more self-indulgence. He turned towards everyone. Lao Tzu said, "They are the top 9. And it's not just this fireman. That everyone in this arena. Have a name, count a name." If only someone would make Lao Tzu leave the station. He will raise his head with both hands. This word just came out in the middle of the field again in amazement. This man had fought a war with the king of medicine. Then provoked the whole thing. The teacher is present today. It's crazy enough. The look on his face really doesn't fit his eyes. He is near the voice that finds his way to death. That digs you. She also shook her head without knowing how to live and die. The police officer wanted to kill. The worst of all, I can't stop laughing to see this. He laughed coldly. Making your own death is worth it. At the same time upstairs, the woman was also surprised to scream. Why is that boy so arrogant? Suddenly now. Most likely, move your back to the top. Again deliberately turned his head towards the city. Make a move. Pointing at the back. In the blink of an eye, the body swayed to pieces. Standing unsteady, trembling up to lines of involuntary tears that fell down. See her expression. The 2 old owners next door are not without doubt. Ask me why. They tend to be quiet for a while. The eyes are still fixed. Look at the back of the most powerful. Muttered, wrong. Turns out I've always been wrong. Before Kier, I think the will of God is revenge. Because he wanted to practice the arts beyond medicine alone. But I was wrong, mind. His will from beginning to end was only one. It's just the most natural. To become the first monk in the world. That cloak was made by my hand. But I always don't understand the true will of the natural tendency. On the contrary, he looked at one thing and understood it. I am the one who made this billion. It's not worth it. Hear this word. Tantai bar and HOA form at the same time amazed. Keep your eyes on the worst. I don't understand a little bit. I can throw him out and Sauken. He has fulfilled the will of a. The 2 old masters could not help but exclaim. You always thought men were unreliable. The boy in front of me. Because of the woman I love, I have sinned against the world. People like that are really worth relying on. It's just this guy's way of doing it, although actually is fulfilling the will of the genius department. But it's definitely a no return. That's right now. There's a constant tension in the audience. Thank heaven and Yang here again, a funny drama viewing set. Talk to the bad long 9. This kid's pulling a grudge is a trick. Everybody say it. This kid. First humiliated the fireman. Seriously a battle. Then give yourself a head. If this knitting match is lost. The army is outraged, not the old man's life. He's done. Long 9 touched his chin and said, This brother is deeply unpredictable. The old man thought he could win. I think Long 9 is the best. Long kneeling next to him is not dressed. Vote against, 9 is too high for him. Others, he even won. But that's the first heaven to train monks. Duong Vuong single player, how could he win? As far as I can see, that boy is afraid of losing his knitting practice. Will definitely take advantage of the strict training Don. The killer took his life. In this way, it seems that he did not lose. Full coverage of his own face. Hear this word. But people don't disagree. Nods at the same time. People here, I've seen the most effective way of working. We all know that he always has a bad side. How to work without common sense. Make someone else turn back. Watching them buzzing through the sample discussion. Single long Master 2 is not swearing dampened up. I told you. 9 ends. I thought you and the dance floor were getting along. But did not expect our people are under a mortal struggle. You're here laughing and laughing. Thank God for seeing everyone's angry faces. Laughing for 2 hours to explain the misunderstanding. Just a misunderstanding. The real face of the fireman. You haven't seen it either, have you? In a moment, you can see clearly. Remember not to lose your soul. Don't see him in front of you as a good boy. In fact, he is the real king. The king of medicine in his eyes. He is just an honest man, he. Hear this word. Everyone was startled. Until now. Most likely in their eyes. Just a crazy kid. It's just a little bit of a strategy. The word of heaven. Make them really suspicious. Like right now. Follow a jingling sound of the bell. Smiley once again made a statement. Continue to practice the second round of knitting. The theme of the second round is 3 knitting products. Her words just ended. Everyone in their eyes lit up with joy. Revealing a brilliant smile. 3 medicinal knitting products. It's not as easy as eating candy. But right now, the women next to him gave them a ring. I don't understand the words a little bit. Very quickly everyone's doubts were answered. Peek up again. Please use the medicine that we provide for the preparation of weapons. Don't mix your own stuff into practice. Otherwise, it will be considered cheating. But it's all medicinal in here. Preparation of 2 medicinal knitting products. Are you wrong? See for yourself. The doctor is not right for you. Both are medicinal products. How to train 3 knitting products. I don't listen to the sound of their complaints. Calm down as usual. Just say this exercise. First, focus on the quality of medicine. Then calculate the speed. The top 50 will enter the 3rd round. The rest is thrown away. There was a loud discussion behind it. Most likely, these sounds are out of your ears. In a sad heart of contemplation. This battle is a little complicated. There is too much Denmark. Which way to choose? Let the king of medicine lose. Heart uniform. Except 166 practice knitting secret 9 heaven dragon yin. 3 products knitting. Most of them are made with 3 medicinal products. There's actually a lot of medicine. 2 products knitting. It can also be used to make 3 kinds of bread. Mandatory in the process of preparation. The effects of the drugs must support each other. So, it can absorb the full force of the drug. Forming 3 products knitting. And that's the point of the exam. In the hands of the monks. Is it enough or not? A teenager in glasses sitting in the stands. Don't stop talking. This kind of knitting, before the eyes of 20 monks training, certainly has. But there's still some practice left. Maybe you just give up and die. Can only make noise. That the Pentagon had given the wrong medicine. Queer coral. See this person. People have no doubt. This kid wasn't pulled back just now. Why are you here again? But in the audience, it is nice to see the worst of them not to act. I can't help but laugh at the prince. People have rolled up their hands to practice knitting. Then, the first round winner is still out. Probably not all three of them. You can't train raw either. Hear this word. Next to him, he also spoke. This kid hasn't reached that level yet. Maybe he's still wondering. Why did you give him the medicine? Peach her, I'm not looking too much for the worst right now. And I don't really appreciate it. The power of this person. Before that, she advised. Just because you know. He has a relationship with the city. So help him a little. But this has something to do with the long-term survival of the universe. Solve solitaire. The king still has to rely on you. I can hear the ridicule in their words. But most probably I didn't notice the cold smile. Snarl, snarl. The old man already felt that he was the champion of the round. I'd better give you a little fuzzy chicken knitting. They don't tell me to rape you. Something if you are in a hurry to lose to me again. I'll let you enjoy a little. What's new is true knitting. End words. In his hands he creates a master of knitting honey. 9 Tianlong secret.